Hello everybody, this is Debbie, from Teacher Success Coach. I was meant to come back to you guys on Wednesday, I think it was. But so many things have been happening over this week. So many challenges, so many things that enable me to reflect and grow that I wasn't able to come on Wednesday. But anyway, here I am. I hope that you guys are doing well. What am I grateful for? Oh my goodness, there's so many things I'm grateful for. Oh my goodness. I'm grateful for life. I'm also grateful for God, for actually, me being so connected to God. Because so many things have been happening that make me realize the power of the Almighty plus the power of manifestation. Yes, manifestation does work. And you need to be really, really focused when you're manifesting. You need to be in no doubt as to what you're manifesting. And if you are in doubt as to what you want and what you want to manifest, is not going to happen. You need to be very, very clear as to where you want to go and what you want manifesting. I've had so many challenges, and the more challenge we have, the more it enables us to grow, and the more it enables us to reassess ourselves. And something you constantly have to ask yourself, how have you contributed to the situation? So by not being proactive, you're still contributing to the situation. By being proactive, you contribute to the situation. So whichever stand you're taking, you are contributing to the situation in which you find yourself. That's something you must never lose sight of, and that's something you must always remember. So there is no point in you saying, oh, well, that happened to me, this happened to me. You need to pause and ask yourself, okay, those things have happened to me, but how have I contributed to it? Because believe me, we have all contributed to a situation, and from our contribution, the outcome is a result of how we have contributed. By remaining silent, you're contributing. By actually communicating in the situation, you're contributing. Whichever way you look at it, you're contributing. Right, as I was saying, there's sometimes in life you think that you're alone. Many times you think that, okay, you're alone, things are happening, etc. But as long as you start trusting in God and believing in Him, you would never be alone. Because the time that you think you're alone, and the more you start reflecting, you realize that, oh no, God is there with you. It's all about believing and trusting. And there are a lot of times your faith would be tested. It is tested because it is enabling you to reflect and also look at how much faith and how much belief you have in yourself and in God. Because your faith is going to be tested. And when it is tested, it's a reflection on how resilient you are, how strong you are, how staying power that you do have. Because every day your faith is being tested. It is entirely up to you how you are going to remain strong, focus, and carry on. It's a matter of believing in yourself. Have faith in yourself, no matter what. There's sometimes it is so difficult to believe and to have faith because we are human. There's sometimes you have the self-doubt stepping in, but you have to pause and pull yourself back and remind yourself that there is no point in doubting yourself. You just have to start believing in yourself and having faith in yourself and moving forward. Self-doubt does not enable progression. Self-doubt does not enable you to achieve your goal. Self-doubt just increases your fear. It doesn't matter how painful the situation is. It doesn't matter how anxious and how nervous you are, you have to believe in yourself. You have to have faith in yourself, no matter what. And with God on your side, and having faith, and having the belief, believe me, you are going to get through. Anyway, what my wins are. Well, I've had a lot of wins this week. One of the greatest wins for me is a reminder of when you think that you're alone, you're not alone. Because when you start having faith and belief, you realize that, oh no, you are covered. You are covered. And this week have taught me that I am covered. It's been a challenging week, but challenges are meant to make us strong. And believe me, it certainly has made me stronger. And as an educator, we are constantly being challenged, either being challenged by the administrators, being challenged by senior leadership, being challenged by your students, being challenged by your students' parents. We are constantly being challenged, but you also have to remain resilient. You also have to remain patient. You also have to believe in yourself. Your self-worth and what you know you want to do. It doesn't matter if everyone else is against you. As long as you trust and you believe in yourself and you know what you're doing is right, you go for it. There is no need to doubt yourself. And I know that sometimes doubt comes in. I know that sometimes it is very difficult to not doubt yourself, especially when you realize that so many people is against you and telling you that you are not capable. That sometimes you might be the lone soldier cheering yourself on because you have a conviction. Follow your intuition and your conviction, and you would never fail. You just have to believe in yourself as if your last breath depends on it. Is having faith and believe in yourself. The more you believe in yourself, the more you are going to able to conquer mountains, and the more you are able going to be flying like, you know, the sky is beyond your limits. But it has to start with belief. Everything starts with a perception and a belief in yourself. I know self-doubt comes in. I know that. But there's sometimes you have to be your own cheerleader. Because if you do not believe in yourself, no one else will. And there's sometimes you realize no one else believes in you except you. Yes, it's painful, but it is possible. And remember, God is always on one of your shoulders. It's a belief. The power of belief, it's powerful. Anyway, another thing is what my wins are. Today I work in a school. It's interesting because I did cover today, and the school I worked in, it's one of my favorite schools actually to cover in. But this is going to be my last cover, because that's from next week. You know, I'll be in my normal school. You know, I was doing 3 days a week because I wanted to do cover in another school, but I've actually decided that I'm going to do 5 days in my normal school, you know, and just concentrate on it. So it's really lovely because I taught year 7s and year 9s today. The year 9s was a little bit more challenging, but the year 7, oh my goodness, they were beautiful babies. They were just beautiful. They've just left primary school. So we are talking about 11-year-olds. And the beautiful thing about it, because I was doing drama with them, and doing drama is just lovely. We were doing, like various dancing, movements, etc. I was in my element, because when I've always said that I wanted to teach, because that's the area I began teaching right now, the sixth formers, so year 12 and year 13. But there's sometimes like that's one of the reasons why I was doing cover for 2 days, because it enables me to tap into the year year sevens, the 11 to 13 year old, because that's such a beautiful age group for me, because I'd actually forgotten how wonderful and how vulnerable and how naive they are, because I've been teaching year 12 and year 13 for so long. They're so beautiful, the year sevens. And one of the gifts for me was today when we started doing drama, one of them said to me, "Oh, Miss, I really enjoyed the session and I really learned a lot," and they were talking about it, etc. And it was so beautiful. I'm not saying that they were silent. These were not silent students. They were very noisy. They were very, innovative. It was just the beauty of the creativeness in the students. And as much as they were talking, they were working. And I'm saying to myself, well, I no longer teach where I expect students to sit still, face the front, and just get on with it. I no longer expect, carbon make of students. I no longer expect robots of students. I expect them to be creative. I expect them to, to be innovative. I expect them to be noisy. And this is what my class have always been, even more so now, because I believe in group work exercise. I believe in, collaboration, teaching, etc. And as much as they were noisy, they were chatty, they were discussing the session. And I also remind myself, Debbie, you cannot say to them, "Oh, stop talking." I had to stop myself a number of times today, because I was going to say to them, "You guys are talking too much." And I think, no, you cannot tell them that, because you want them to be expressive and you want them to collaborate and you want them to discuss the topic. So that was really nice. I had to, because there's sometimes as educators, because some aspect of you have been programmed, you're still trying to, sometimes you still take that into your classroom. But in the last, 2 or 3 years, I'm consciously reminding myself, no, you don't want them to sit there, sit still and don't talk. You expect them to do that. And that was wonderful, because the student actually commented on that. "Oh my goodness, Miss, you're not shouting at us. You're listening to," it was really interesting because I wasn't laughing. "You're listening to us. You're not saying to us to sit still and stop talking. You're not saying that." And it was wonderful, because their faces, because I said to them, I'm one of those teachers who, I don't believe in shouting at students, and I need to use my inside voice, right? I don't need to use my outside voice. I say inside voice only. And it was interesting, because when some of them when the noise were getting too much, the others were saying, "You need to be quiet because Miss doesn't want to use her inside voice." And it was funny, because I was just laughing, because, it was just beautiful. So in terms of my win, those are my wins in terms of how the students were very, creative. They were chatty, they were innovative. It was just really wonderful. And some of the things they were saying to me made me quite sad. On one hand, I see I see it from the educator's perspective, but I also see it from the student's perspective. A number of students said to me, "Yeah, I know you don't have to. We should not always believe students all the time, because there's sometimes students lies. I understand all of that." I was giving them a bit of self-development, and I said to them, every day I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you are. And remind yourself of your beauty, because you're all very beautiful. This is something I've been saying to them all, for the whole week, right? And all day I was saying, and the reaction you get is students just burst out laughing, right? And that's exactly the response I got. They just burst out laughing, and they were in hysterics. And I'm saying to them, yes, that's what I want you to do. So in the drama room, there was a mirror. So I said, I want you all in turns to have a look and go to the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself and tell yourself that you're beautiful. Anyway, they all had a turn and they came back, and it was like the whole, laughter, etc. But after a few minutes, they settled and they began to talk about it as a mantra, that they're beautiful, etc. And I said to them, I want you to remind yourself of your beauty. I also said to them, do not allow anybody to tell you that you cannot do what you want to do. You may not be able to do it right now, but you can do whatever you want to do. So that's what I want you always remember. And I say to them, one of the things is, a lot of these things started when you were young. And these people who are now older are very low in confidence. Because why? From an early age, they were told that they couldn't achieve, they couldn't do it, and they were stupid, they were dumb, and all of those negative words. So I've said to them, I do not want you to accept anybody telling you that you're stupid, you're dumb, you're an idiot, etc. And I asked them to give me some of the negative names that people have called them. And another thing I've said to them, when people tell you that, you need to remind them that you are not dumb, nor are you stupid. You have actually done something which was dumb. So your action was dumb. You are not dumb. So then I asked them if they understood the difference, and they did. Some of them said they did, some didn't. So I explained that to them. And I then said to them, this negativity starts from early on. So when someone is telling you from such an early age that you are dumb, you are stupid, you are useless, that becomes your reality. And you begin to believe that. And as you become older, as an adult, those things become your adult reality. And as a result of that, your confidence is very low because you don't believe in yourself. Because people have always told you when you were young that you were dumb and you were stupid and you were useless. So I don't want you to accept any of those negative labels from anybody. If your parents are telling you that, if your teachers are telling you that, you remind them that you are not dumb, you are not stupid, you are not, there's another word they use, I can't remember. All the negative, you say you are not any of those things. You've actually acted in that way, but that doesn't make you who you are, right? And then they start telling me stories about some teachers. Miss, there is this, and they're naming teachers. I had to say to them, don't name anybody. But at such a young age, they're not thinking in terms of, not naming, etc. Because the first thing when they start saying, Miss, and this teacher said to us, just shut up and you all are stupid, that really just grits me. So I'm saying to them, when did they tell you this? And these are things that's going on recent, right? Because this children only started in September. So the fact that they've only started in September, and you have teachers telling them, shut up, you guys are all stupid because they did not understand a concept, it really grits me and it really upsets me. And I know the students are not telling lies, because many a times in some of the schools I go to, there's sometimes when teachers are talking, I have to stop them. Because when they're saying, oh, these students are so stupid, I said, stop. I said, I cannot be listening to this, because they're not stupid. They didn't understand the concept. That doesn't make them stupid. So this is something I constantly have to be reminding educators. So when the students are telling me that, I know that they're telling me the truth, because I've actually witnessed that myself. Educators out there, it is so very, and parents out there, it is so very, very important that you do not attach the negative labels to these children. These children would not be children all the time. They become adults who then start having low self-esteem, low confidence, low self-worth, and the feeling that they're not good enough. That's the reason why we have so many people out there who are going through those situations, who are in abusive relationship, who are being gaslighted, etc., because they have been told all these negatives from when they were young, and it became their reality. And as they become adults, they are not able to assert themselves, nor are they confident enough to say no, or to say, I no longer want that. So as adults and as parents and as educators, we need to be very, very mindful as to the words and language we use when we are dealing with young people, or for that matter, when we are dealing with anybody. Because these young people then become adults, and these adults then begin to start having a number of challenges. As I said, low self-confidence, low self-esteem, low self-worth, and the list goes on and on and on. So, parents and educators, you are your young people role model. They look upon you as knowing all the answers. So you need to take a stand and be very mindful as to what you're saying to these children, because they're very impressionable and they're very vulnerable. Because we know when they see an adult doing certain things, they tend to copy. We've seen that in terms of research, in terms of psychological research, in terms of sociological research, etc. I'm speaking from a psychosocial perspective and from a psychologist perspective. I see it every day enacted in my classroom. And I'm afraid, as an educator, the times we have to unpack the backpack before we're able to deal with the students, because some of them are coming to us very damaged because of what adults have told them, and it become the reality. And a lot of times I have to unpack those narrative before I could actually teach the students. And they have so much doubt in themselves that, Miss, do you think I could do it? Is it really true? And it's really challenging. So I cannot stress enough the power of words, the damage of words and sentences and what we say to these people. I've got a course coming out in the next few weeks regarding the power of words, because it is so important that I need to change individual mindset as to the words they're using and how damaging it is to these young people who then become adults and who come with all these baggages. And I've seen adults today who are so still in this thing that they are lost. They feel that they're not good enough because they've been told that from young, and it becomes a reality. Anyway, guys, take care, stay blessed, have a great weekend. And remember, it starts with you and your mindset. You need to believe in yourself, have faith in yourself, and trust that you are able to do it. And always remember, there is someone greater than all of us. For me, it's God. For you, it might be something else. I cannot tell you what to believe in because you know what you believe in. But mine is God, and I know there is a greater force than all of us. Right? So we need to be mindful of that and, use it to our advantage and use it for us to navigate where we are and where we're coming from. Anyway, next week, as I said, I'm going back to my school for 5 days. I'm starting back next week, all, week, etc., etc. Because I've decided I need to stop this, this cover, because it's lovely, but it's tiring. So for next week, I'll be coming to you every day regarding my set of students, which I've actually just taken on, because I have to start doing revision plan with them as well. I'm trying to crack the negative habits that my student have, my sixth form student have. The negative of coming into school, you know, strolling in. My lesson started at 1 o'clock, strolling in at 1:45 and think it's okay. Strolling in without, you know, writing materials, strolling in without their books, etc. And we're talking about this as 16-year-olds. So this week I realized that I've actually cracked it, because when they were coming in, they came in late, and I said to them they were not going to come in. I left them outside for a while. Then I actually went out and spoke with them, and I said to them, that's it. So from this week, any of them coming late, later than 10 minutes, I'm not going to allow them in. So, you know, I'll tell you how this new mindset training is going to be going, because it's going to take a while, because they've developed so much negative habit over COVID. So it's a matter of some things that I feel need to be adhered to, either like coming into class on time, that's fine. But in terms of the chatting, that's okay for me. The mobile phone, I need to clamp down on, because there seems to be more focus on that mobile phone than on the lesson. So these are the two things I've said to them for next week. Mobile phone in your bag or in your pocket, wherever you want to put it. I don't want to see it. And make sure it's off, and come into my lesson on time. So I'll tell you next week when I start back on Monday. I'll tell you how I'm getting on. So I'll see you guys on Monday for a Facebook Live. But tomorrow I've got a show with Home Education. Oh, yes, she's a British. Home Education, where I'll have parents who have started to home educate. She's going to tell us about her journey and some of the challenges that she have had, etc. So I'll be back on my platform tomorrow at 6, this time with a show. But I'll be back live with a Facebook Live on Monday and every day next week from my classroom, regarding my school. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. Have a fantastic evening, morning, night, wherever you are. And I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in and supporting me and listening to some of the things that I have to say regarding education, regarding, mindset, regarding, how the words we use, etc. I'm really, really appreciative of that. Thank you very, very much for supporting me and coming on board. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening. Stay blessed. Thank you.